Good morning, Alexia. It's the Raptor Freak here. Wednesday morning, the Raptors beat the San Antonio Spurs last night for their 999th win ever in their franchise history. So that means just one more to go, baby, and we'll get that 1,000. And hopefully it could be tonight. Yeah, tonight. Back to back, baby. We beat the Spurs last night, and we went to Milwaukee right after the game, and we're playing the Bucks tonight, the defending champions in Milwaukee at home. And I'll tell you what, guys, Milwaukee's missing a lot of players. They have a lot of players in COVID protocols right now. Let's just get this out of the way right now, just so you can have this update. So right now, out for Milwaukee, Grayson Allen, Dante DiVincenzo, Pat Connaughton, Jordan Nwora. Let's see, who else? Semi Ojale and Thanos Antetokounmpo. So look at that. They're missing a lot of guys on Milwaukee tonight. And, listen, this is what I think is going to happen. We have been handling teams pretty nicely the last 3 games on our win streak, whether it's been the Spurs, the Clippers, New York. We've got to play a good team, a really top team, a former champion, the champion right now, and in their home place. This is going to be a great test for this Raptors team, that they're finally all together. And I think we can handle them, honestly. If we can get out there and do what we've been doing the last couple games and look that good against Milwaukee at home tonight, we're a serious team. And there's no reason why this can't happen, because in some ways our new lineup and having everybody together is overwhelming for other teams. And if we can overwhelm Milwaukee in different ways, like if we can really agitate and irritate Giannis, make sure that he can't do what he wants to do today, we can stop them. We just really need to stop Giannis and watch their three-point shooters like Middleton, and we can beat this team. Because, look, I have a feeling that what's going to happen right now with the Raptors, if they have this core of 8 guys available in regular games and they're going to play big like they're playing right now without Fred in the lineup, this is basically 2 kinds of Raptor lineups right now. There's Fred out there with catch and shoot and all this kind of stuff, and then there's the big Raptor lineup. When we go positionless, when we have all these guys that are 6'7" and up out there all at the same time, and it is messing teams up. I'm not lying. I see the Raptors turning into something like Harlem Globetrotters and Washington Generals for a period of time right now. Oh, yeah, that kind of dominance. Because in a certain way, we've kind of broke the system. In some ways, the way the Raptors are built and the way that we're going to start playing has kind of broken the NBA. In video games, things happen where they adjust things and they change things, and then there's all of a sudden an unfair advantage, or there's some sort of advantage that's all of a sudden discovered in a game, and people say the game's been broken. Well, I feel like the NBA is about to get broken by the Raptors because of what they've achieved with their roster and the kind of players that they have out there. Scotty last night looked like Magic Johnson to me. He was throwing no-look passes. There was one point where they were on the break, and it was like showtime, baby. He did a little pass off to Pascal Siakam, who looked like James Worthy. It was the same thing. Scotty and him in the break, and he just before he was going to charge into the guy and get an offensive charge, he made the pass, was brilliant, perfect timing to Pascal, and Pascal dunked it. It looked just like Magic to Worthy from the 80s. Yeah. And Scotty's Magic Johnson game is getting unlocked right now because he's one of the primary ball handlers right now. And I love this. He was flirting with a triple-double last night and looking like Magic Johnson with the no-look passes and the assists and stuff like that. It is such a joy to watch this kid, who he's becoming, because this is like, listen, man, some rookies never get like this in their careers. Like 10 years in, he's doing stuff that guys can be in the league for 10 years and never get the chance or the ability or talent or smarts to ever do. And he's doing it within 30 games of starting his NBA career. This is insane, y'all. He is a special player. He's unlike no other. And I am so excited to see where he's at the end of this year. Like, he is so special. Chriscom, good morning. Good morning. So good to see you, man. No Lopez is pretty huge. Yeah, Lopez has been out with the surgery for a while. They're missing some key guys. And it's really weird because it seems like a lot of their scrappy little white guys are out. They're all out. Connaughton, DiVincenzo, That Grayson Allen guy is out who starts. He's a dirty player. We've called him out for that. So it's going to be real interesting to see how we handle this team tonight. I think we're going to outclass them, honestly. If we can control Giannis to a degree and really, really mess him up with different defenders hanging on him and just trying to stay in between him and the basket, we can have a lot of success. In some ways, we kind of own Milwaukee still in a way. Yeah, sure, they're the champs and stuff like that, but we were in a down year last year. In some ways, I was like, well, let Milwaukee go ahead and get their championship out of the way. That'll feel good to them because they've been kind of running with us as a horse in the Eastern Conference race, really close for the last 5 years or so. And this is the thing, though. Whenever we play them in the playoffs, we beat them. We own them. Our team has rent in their minds. That's right. We're rent free in their minds. We are in their heads, and they still haven't beaten us in a way that makes their franchise really on top of our franchise because we've beaten them consistently. We've already beaten them once this year. Yeah. So let's see what happens again tonight here at home for them at home. Yeah, I want to see this because I feel like we've got a good chance to keep rolling and beat the Milwaukee Bucks in their own arena. Oh, man, it's going to be so fun to watch tonight. It's going to be a real battle. And I know it won't be easy, but I want to see this test for this Raptor collection of players. This collection of players out there against the champs tonight in Milwaukee, we're going to have some success. I really, truly believe that. It's so weird that our team now, because they are starting Scotty with those other 4 guys, and I'm okay with this because in my mind now, Scotty Barnes is a center. He's a center that can guard centers. He was guarding Pirtle at times last night, but we have the first 3 guys off the bench are all power forward centers. We got Precious, Chris Boucher, and Kem Birch coming in, and he did it again last night. He pulled Scotty 4 minutes into the game and put Kem Birch in right away. And, you know, Pirtle was killing us for a bit in the game. He was really dominant in some ways as a big man in the game last night. But we lessened his impact. And we need to watch out for this. Like, that is kind of a good litmus test to start with centers. If they're able to get rebounds like crazy and just get close baskets to the basket, because they beat us in points in the paint last night. Jakob Poeltl and them beat us in the points in the paint last night, and he was operating to a degree, and we couldn't do anything about him to a degree. But you know what? We'll see how it goes when we get these bigger guys that are really skilled, like Jokic, eventually, and see how we do with them. But I love this starting lineup now. I'm not against starting those 5 that they're starting now because I see what Nick's doing with the rotating in of the big guys. And all of a sudden, we go from this team with Fred out there to 5 tall guys, and it just looks badass. Like, we look like a team I've always wanted us to be. This towering team that's super tall, imposing, stifling, just hard to play against, hard to get anything done against because there's so many long arms everywhere, reaching, deflecting, grabbing, stealing, blocking, and they're just frustrated because nothing's easy. They have to really protect the ball. They have to really watch out because we're just all over the place with our length. And I love that. That we have these lineups where OG's getting shifted into the shooting guard, where Scotty's getting shifted into the shooting guard or point guard. And we have bigger guys out there. It's really, really good. It bodes well for the playoffs. It bodes well for physicality against big Western teams and different things that we have to deal with for the rest of the season. So let's see what you guys are saying. All right. Chriscom, do you know if former Buck DJ Wilson is back? We are eligible to get hardship exemptions again since Yuta and Svi have gone on the COVID protocols in the last day or so. So he's eligible to get picked up. But you know what? I have a feeling that because the team isn't that bad off and we're kind of rolling, that they may not go and pick him up. They may not. I don't know. I haven't heard anything this morning as of. All I've heard this morning is that Bonga's been sent back down to the 905 and that they're resuming their season starting tomorrow. So the 905 is going to start back up, and then Champagny and Johnson and Banton and Flynn, those guys will get to go and play with that team some more and get more reps. Since all our regular guys are back, these guys aren't going to get to play as much. And it was really cool to see Justin get his shine last night and get that kind of those minutes that Yuta or Svi might have gotten last night, and hitting those 3 in a row. He was like 5 for 5 until he missed a shot. Finally, it was too bad when he missed a shot. I was really hoping he wouldn't, but he made a good, strong case for being ahead of those guys in the rotation when they come back. That Justin really played really well last night and looked better than, some of the guys who were out. So let's see. What else are you guys saying? Kenny, but no official word on DJ Wilson. That we haven't heard anything about DJ Wilson at all. And these guys are getting signed and picked up left and right. Like Brandon Goodwin went somewhere else already. Stauskas is on the Heat now. Tremont Waters went to Washington. So it's just a free-for-all and a frenzy, and it's really by need. It's if you're in a tough spot and you need players, then they come. But if we don't totally need DJ and we just want to fill in with our personnel existing, we have enough of our regular guys that are supposed to be on our roster playing, then maybe we don't go and get him. I think that everybody's overinflating the importance of DJ Wilson to a degree from his little stint there. Yeah, he's a great player and he's good, but there's still, who knows? We'll see. Maybe we'll hear something this afternoon, because they do have a possibility to get hardship exemption players right now just because we have 2 guys out. So let's see. Kenny's saying, good morning, Kenny, man. Always happy to have you with us, man. We can stop Giannis, Kem, Precious, and the 10-day guy. Will keep him at bay and collect fouls. I think Oturo's actually gone by now. So, but yes, I believe what you're saying. The root of what you're saying here is very true. Giannis, we've had good success controlling Giannis. I mean, hello, we have Mr. Anunoby, who does a really good job getting on him. Siakam on the down low really covers Giannis very well. He's a good matchup against Giannis when Giannis is trying to attack. We've got like 3 or 4 guys who can kind of match him with physical strength, size, and quickness with what he's going to try and do. So we just really want, we want to dare him to shoot outside and not get to the basket, keep him away from the basket, and let him shoot a little bit from the outside and let him shoot some ugly ones, because we know he's better in the open court and getting to the hoop. And if we can stop that part of his game, then, we'll have some good success. And then, of course, we've got to watch, guys like Middleton on the 3-point line, and just Drew Holiday. In the last game we played against them, he killed us in a lot of different ways, just scoring, like going around, shooting mid-range and little layups and different things like that. So we really need to watch Holiday and where he's running around and getting to different spots and just keep up with him, and we'll be fine. Because honestly, a lot of their role players, 3-point shooter guys that shoot on the outside that kill us, the unknown guys that just come in all of a sudden, like Connaughton and Ojale, they're out. So they're not. This is the thing. Milwaukee is not full strength. Milwaukee is weakened right now. And honestly, I think since PJ Tucker left their team last year and went to Miami, they're worse team than they were as a champion last year. And they're right for the picking. And this is going to be a great test. This is going to be a great test. And like I said, I want to see us against a top quality NBA team with this roster, because there may still be a gap of talent and ability that we'll see in this game, even with a top premium team in the league at home. Yeah, because like right now we're outclassing teams. This is the thing. The game last night was an outclassment. There's nothing Popovich could have done to work his team towards beating us last night. We just had the better talent, the better energy, the better size, the better all around stuff. And in some ways, we're going to be able to do that to even good teams, really, really top teams. We can really mess them up with our system, our length, and the way we're playing. I am so excited to test it out against the best teams in this league in tough situations, on back-to-backs, and in this crazy condensed schedule we're going to have to play in the next 2 months. It's going to be so fun to see them take the challenge every night. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Callie, Good morning again. Glad you're here again. It would be so sweet to beat them. Last night's game was one of the few games where I didn't swear. I love it. I love it. Yes, yes. Isn't it nice to watch Raptor games and not have that general stress sometimes, like where the game's a little close or they've been down and they have to come back to win or this kind of stuff, to just kind of put it on cruise control and be entertained. Watch the game, see all the fun stuff that Scotty's doing, Precious, seeing Pascal develop even further with his offensive game and do all these amazing things. And Fred, oh my gosh, this is the thing. Fred is really, what he's doing right now is kind of really sustainable. That what we've kind of opened a door up for Fred, for him to get easy points without having to work too hard. And his scoring average may shoot up really high. And it's really this role of being off the ball and being able to catch and shoot. Because a lot of times Fred had to work for his shot this season by dribbling and getting around screens and doing all this kind of stuff. But if the other guys are pulling doubles to them and they're just finding him open on the outside, he's going to have a field day every single game. He's going to have these shooting percentages where he shoots 6 for 9 for 3, and it's going to be nasty. Like, I can see him scoring 30 points in every game if he's getting these open looks like this consistently and all the time. And I love that. I love that he's not having to work as hard, and he's nasty deadly with his shot right now. It's so fun to watch. Oh my gosh. Marlon Toby, good morning, man. Oh my gosh, man. Last night was amazing. Guarding Giannis will be the test. We have to contain ourselves and avoid being too handsy, or we could be in foul trouble real quick. It was really interesting. The refs were really helping out Chris Boucher last night. They were giving him all kinds of calls last night, and I love that. We were getting calls to get the foul line on plays where we normally wouldn't get and ones or get the call. It was really fantastic to see the refs giving us some respect. And I think part of that is that we're really working hard, that we're really active. We're going after the loose balls. We're going after the rebounds. We're doing everything really all out, and the refs are rewarding us for it. And I'm glad about that. But yes, this is a big concern for tonight. Giannis is going to be a foul magnet, and people are going to get their hands in there, and they're going to get fouls, dumb fouls, and fouls that are, meant to be real fouls. They were fouls, but there are going to be a little bit of fouls and things around Giannis tonight that we got to watch out and not let anybody get in foul trouble. But it's been interesting. Gary got in foul trouble 2 games ago. Last night, Pascal was kind of in foul trouble a little bit, but we have such good depth right now that we can afford to have one guy who's kind of in foul trouble, and we have just the next guy come in. And these positionless teams with all these tall guys out there, it's nasty. It's so nasty, and it's so much fun to watch. And I want to see us do this tonight against Milwaukee and see if we really intimidate and overpower them with just height overall. Because they still have short guards and short people that they have running around out there. What are they going to do when we come out and Scotty's running guard with Pascal Siakam in the backcourt? And we got 3 other big guys out there with them. Oh, man. The keys to this car that the Raptors are driving right now is a super high-octane nitroglycerin engine jet funny car that's going to off the starting line against any of their regular stock car race cars. We got a funny car with different kind of fuel going through it. That's right. And that's the difference. We're going to be another class to most teams in this league at this point. You're going to have to be a really, really high quality, good team like Phoenix or Denver or those kind of teams to really have a good chance against us right now. So let's see how good Milwaukee is at this point. Because, honestly, I know they won the championship. I know they have Giannis. But listen, they are susceptible, and I want to see how we handle them. All right, Andrew, let's go back to 500. It feels so good. A nice clean slate at home. That home record is finally 500 again after being so horrible. It was 2-8 at one point, y'all. That's how much they've scrapped and built back to being back at 500 at the home court, Scotiabank Arena, and now they're 500 overall also, and it's all going up, baby. We can win or lose tonight. If we lose tonight, that's fine, but I really think we're going to win tonight. And we need to get more wins than losses, obviously. going forward now, we need to really get like 3 wins to 1 loss as much as we can. As much as we can, we need to be 75%. That's what I really believe. And it'll help Fred get into the All-Star game. That's one of the things that's going on right now, too. Marlon Toby, hey, and the Bucks are missing Brook Lopez, and he's injured. Well, he had surgery. He's been out. They didn't have him the last time we played him either. There's a lot of guys missing from Milwaukee. Like I said, their injury report has COVID protocols all over it. Thomas, COVID. Semi Ojale, COVID. Jordan Nwora, COVID. Connaughton, COVID. Grayson Allen, COVID. So they're having a bit of their little COVID protocols still right now, and that's great compared to like us and coming in there. We have a little bit also, but our important rotation guys are all through it now. The only guy who hasn't gotten COVID protocols is Chris Boucher. It's really weird. And Stevie Roots and I were trying to figure out on the phone last night, did he even get it last year? Because when they were playing through the COVID last year, he was one of the guys who started and kept playing for us and holding down the fort in some ways. I think he did get it at some point last year, but he hasn't gotten it this year. And if that kind of points to Chris Boucher's strategy of staying home during the pandemic right from the start and just playing video games all day and not doing anything out at all in his life other than basketball and staying home and playing on Twitch. So good job, Chris. You need to be talked to by the CDC because you're making the right plans and moves to not get the virus if you're the only guy. But if he's the one guy who still gets put into COVID protocols by the end of the year, that's the thing. Don't they get a natural immunity? And we're not going to get thrown all into COVID protocols all of a sudden again this season, I would think. So hopefully we're clear of all of it and we can just roll. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I am so excited. Andrew, our tall lineups looked awesome last night, didn't they? They look imposing. They look like they're competent with smaller guards out there playing against them. We don't lose anything by playing big like that because we have enough skilled, fast, tall guys to keep up with them. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a little guy out there that may try and take advantage of this and burn us in some sort of way. But then you make an adjustment. You bring Fred or Malachi in or something like that just to chase the little guy. But for the most part, I don't see many people burning us in those kind of lineups. It's so imposing, so imposing when you have these 7-foot wingspans coming at you at the outside on the top of the key. And then down low still, it's oh my gosh, I'm so excited about seeing the combinations and how they work. There was one stretch of the game last night where we saw a pass. It was like Pascal to Precious, and then was Scotty to OG, like in 2 different trips down the court. And the assists last night were going every which way. And there was a bunch of different guys getting assists. Like the assist numbers, 5 assists for Pascal, 3 for OG, 8 for Scotty, 7 for Fred, 3 for Gary. That's your starting lineup. And they've got like 26 assists in your starting lineup by the 5 guys. And that just means that's great ball rotation, passing around, distribution between them. And they're looking for the best shots. And it's fun to see the different tools and the ways. Like Gary's kind of little outlet, all of a sudden, we're in trouble. Get it to Gary. He can try and do a little dribble and make some room for himself. And then boom, he's kind of the safety valve. But then you've got OG who can do these bull moves. And then he also was shooting a lot of threes. He missed a lot, but then he finally got 2 later in the game before they pulled him out of the game. And then Scotty just trying to do all around. Like seriously, he's going to get a triple-double very soon. He will. He's just messing around last night. And if he had really kind of focused in on getting the rebounds and trying, the assists were screwed up in some ways. Like there was that one play, Precious should have given him another assist, but he missed the shot and then he had to rebound the shot and put it back. It's just dumb little stuff. It's going to come. Scotty's going to get a triple-double in his rookie year. It's going to come in the next couple of weeks. I really see it because his game's all around. It's nasty, and he looks so good running the point. Like, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Like, I'm looking at his turnovers, and he only had 1 turnover last night with 8 assists. 8-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio is fantastic. Is fantastic. Point guards wish they had that. Little guys wish that they could get an 8-to-1 point turnover to ratio there. Oh my gosh, this is just nasty. Like, we're just unsealing the package. We're just getting a whiff of that new product smell of what is happening with this Toronto Raptor team. We've had this delay because of injuries and all this stupid stuff. This is stuff that could have happened right from the start, from the beginning of the season, but not everybody was there. And now they are. And this is the real thing. It really is like the season started for our team when 2022 hit. And man, oh man, I love the tall lineups, Andrew. And I love that Chris is a big part of it, and that he's not necessarily like the center or the power forward. He's like playing small forward sometimes. Like, he's the small forward in some of these situations. This is what I've been crying out for years, is get OG Anunoby into a guard spot, like gets Chris into a small forward spot, Pascal into small forward, and don't let them play the big guys. Let these big guys come in like Precious, Cam, and Scotty's playing pivot. He's playing pivot's defense, and I love it. I love it. Chriscom, do you got Siakam and Fred making the All-Star team, or just one of them? Well, we got to help these guys. And the first way we make sure this happens is we get Fred on the team by votes. Fred has a lot of head of steam on the Twitter and the different places where people are voting. I don't know what the early returns are saying yet, but Fred needs to get put in there by us, by the people, by the votes. And, there is a good, strong consideration, especially when Popovich is seeing up close this guy, the way he operated and killed his team last night. Coaches like him will take respect to that. And I think that in a way, if we get our record up there and we're in like the top 6 in the East, by the time the voting is for the coaches, then we're going to get strong consideration, not only for Fred, but for Pascal also. And I would love both of them to be all-stars. Honestly, they're both really are all-stars, because this is how you become an all-star. You have to play really good for a couple years, and then you break through and you finally get the all-star year. Like, I hate all this talk about LaMelo Ball and some of these younger guys being all-stars. Like, if he gets voted in by the fans, that's fine, but it's silly and stupid. He's too young, and he hasn't strung together enough years of a certain level of play to be considered an all-star, because that's really the thing. You have to string together at least 2 or 3 years of all-star level play, and then you get considered to be a first-time all-star. And I don't think somebody like LaMelo's too young, and he hasn't done enough consistently for a long enough time. And Fred has. Fred could have been an all-star last year. Fred has played at a high level for a couple years now, even alongside Kyle Lowry. And, he deserves it. He is at the level where he's an all-star. Same thing happened to Pascal. Pascal deserved it, and then he finally got it a couple years ago. And that's another thing. If you're already been an all-star, you get stronger consideration to come back if you're still playing at that level. And that's why I think Pascal will probably get put in by the coaches, because they understand the threat, and the way he plays on offense is something to be respected. And they'll respect him by putting him on the all-star team. So I hope that both of them make it. It may end up being that we only get one representative on the all-star team. But really, a lot of it's going to depend on how good we do in January. How good we do in this month leading up till the end. And if our record and we go on a streak and we look like Fred continues to score 30 points every game for like a streak, they're going to have to put him on the team, because it's just so apparent that, yes, this guy's an all-star. He's controlling games. He's doing things at will. He's like Steph Curry, Eastern Conference, stuff like that. So I think we have a good chance, Chriscom. I think that we'll at least get one, but we should really get both of them, because they're both all-stars in their own way. Andrew, I think our recent success is that everyone is finding their role and not trying to be the number one player. There's a lot of real fluidity, like Andrew's saying here. There's nobody trying to force things. That's part of the thing that's so cool about what Fred's doing, is he's not trying to force his 30 points into the game. It's coming to him naturally. It's coming to him in the flow of the offense and them throwing out a double teams or just seeing who's open. I really love this. And I'm actually starting to see the influence of Trevor Gleeson on this team now. That this flex offense from Australia, this champion coach from Australia who's won many championships over in Australia in recent years, we're finally getting a chance to see this weave of an offense on the side. You see where the guys run across the court and they're kind of just constantly passing in different ways across to each other and stuff like that. That's actually that flex offense that Trevor Gleason has brought to us, and they're actually putting it into motion finally with the big guys. And that's part of what that flow is that it really it makes it unselfish. It makes it like, okay, nobody really is determined to be the guy who's the outlet, who's supposed to shoot for sure. It's really just in that extra each moment, figure out who has the best shot in that point. And if you don't, and it's like they really have a standard for, okay, well, this player's here or this year, I got to take the shot. Oh no, I got to pass. And it's like they're learning the decision making in the quick seconds, and it's working. There's such an unselfish team already that when you have that kind of system in there and you have so much skill, like all five guys will have so much skill on the court that, it's nasty. They can each score in their own different way, and they can't really guard all five of them all at once. Like they can try and contain and watch out and double Pascal, but that's going to mess them up with things like with OG, things with Fred getting open or Scotty. Just think about that. It's a nightmare for the other teams to try and prepare for us and to try and figure out who they're going to key on. And then they got to switch probably because they can't just double Pascal. They're going to have to figure out, because they may have to all of a sudden start doubling OG instead. So, oh man, we're a headache. We are a headache and a pain in the ass for the rest of the NBA. And it's going to be so much fun to see it all happen. And I really think it is that flex offense that Trevor Gleason has brought with him from Australia that we're finally starting to get to see the signs of it out there with everybody together. Let's keep going. Andrew, yeah, Fred is way better than LaMelo or Lonzo. I don't like these young guys, like just because they're fun and you're watching them and stuff like that. I don't think that makes them an all-star. I mean, I haven't seen ball this year. LaMelo, I'm not talking about Lonzo, because honestly, I don't consider Lonzo even in the all-star talk, because it's Levine and DeRozan for that team that should be getting in the all-star team. And I don't think they deserve 3 for Chicago. So LaMelo is the one we're hearing the talk about. And part of the talk about LaMelo that bugs me is, honestly, how many years has he been in this league, and has his team done jack shit? Okay, so listen, he's not an all-star. If the fans vote him in because he's popular and he's fun to watch and all that stuff, that's one thing. But it really shouldn't be that. So we need to, as a fan nation for the Raptors, we need to push Fred in by our vote. We need to force the issue and say Fred is the starter and he should be starting next to DeMar DeRozan. That's who, I know it'll be somebody like Harden's going to be involved in all this, and Trae Young's involved in the guard voting also, but honestly, that's who I think should start the All-Star game, is Fred and DeMar. Because DeMar, obviously, with what he's been doing with these three-point game winners and stuff like that, and Fred, we've seen what he's done just in the last couple games with the 30-point games. It's insane. Let's keep going. Kenrick saying we need to understand who to double and when to play man-to-man. We've been really doing a good job with this kind of stuff, with the defensive scheme switching in games for a couple of years now. It's kind of been like an MO of Nick Nurse, that he'll be known to switch to something like the box and one, or play a man defense, switch to zone defenses, switching back and forth from time to time. And actually, he does a really good job of picking the different times to do it. So this is something we're really good at already. It's really interesting that we kind of have a good subtle inclination of knowing exactly when the right times are to switch this kind of stuff and try to do this kind of stuff. And I think this will be important for tonight with Milwaukee, with Giannis, and trying to control him and stuff like that, switching from zone to man-to-man, and depending on what's happening in the game or what they're trying to do with the ball and stuff like that. So we're good at this already. It's fun. It's the offensive stuff we're trying to figure out still, and it looks smooth. It doesn't look bad. The one thing about the offense right now is we're not having a lot of turnovers, unnecessary turnovers, and they're taking care of the ball, and we're finding the best shot. In the ball movement, the way the ball's getting passed around, like 4 or 5 Raptors are touching the ball every time down the court, is beautiful. This is all really working well, and we're not having like a real bad growing pain or a lot of failure or tough stuff happening. We've had finding success because there's all kinds of different not easy, but there's all kinds of different ways we can find success with the offensive potential with different guys on this court. Whether it's like Kem with the pick and roll 2-man game with Fred, or OG bulling to the court, or Gary taking side steps and making his shot open outside, or even going to the basket. Gary drives to the basket really well too. So we keep them guessing. They have no idea what we're going to do. It's really crazy. Andrew, I saw an interesting stat the other day. Fred is one of only 4 or 5 guys in NBA history under 6'1" to average the stats that Fred is putting up this season. Yeah, there's all kinds of reasons to consider Fred. Fred is kind of like, he's the team leader. He's the captain. He's getting the amazing stats and rebounds for a guy his size. That's probably the part right there, Andrew, that's different. Is there was a guy way back in the day named Fat Lever, Lafayette Lever, who played in the 80s for the Denver Nuggets, and he was a rebounding guard. He averaged like 10 rebounds a game. He was kind of a triple-double machine. But that's the guy he reminds me of, is these rebounding guards, these guys who used to go in and get a lot of, like Kevin Johnson, his Suns. He was another one of these guys that would be rebounding as a little guard all the time. So I love that about Fred. And that's definitely one of the reasons why he's an all-star, is because he's in there with the Atlanta Giants battling to get the boards. And he does a really good job, I mean, considering his averages. So I'm excited, man. Let's take this test with Milwaukee tonight. But let me go over the game a little bit more in depth from last night. We'll look at how they did with their stats. Pascal, again, a double-double, 18 and 12. Fantastic job. And he's doing it so understated. Like last night, he didn't really seem like he was taking over the game or doing too much, but he was still operating and getting his shot when he wanted to. And he didn't really seem like he was working too hard. 7 for 13. And a great thing about last night also is none of these guys had to play heavy minutes. Nobody went over 35 minutes. We kept the game out of reach for San Antonio long time, and then we got to play these bench guys late. So our guys should be fresh and rested for tonight against Milwaukee. Nobody's too exhausted from the game last night because we got good minutes from the bench. Chris Boucher, 19 minutes off the bench, only 4 points. But you know what, man? 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 steals, really active out there. And just, he's locked in the team defense right now. The things that Chris is doing in tandem with people like Siakam and Birch and Scotty down low is really fantastic. Like they're doing all kinds of like switching and just they're sealing things really good. Like nobody can do much down around the basket for the most part, unless you're Jakob Poeltl. Precious Achiuwa. Precious was interesting because he got to the line a lot last night, and he shot really good at the line for the most part. He hit his first 2 free throws when he got up there, and I'm just glad to see Precious more active. He got 10 points last night. He was fine. He did good. I really like these 3 bigs off the bench in some ways. Like all 3 of them got 19 minutes each, and they all kind of did different looks and good things for us off the bench. Like Kem is a monster on the boards. Like he got 4 offensive rebounds. He got 3 blocks last night. He's just doing general center stuff that we need him to do. And I love that. Like they're such different kind of big men, Chris, Precious, and Kem. And the fact that there are first 3 guys off the bench right now is really crazy. Andrew saying, yeah, Boucher playing well again is like signing a new player. Yeah, he's just, he understands his role. He's not being asked to take over and be the man and do so much anymore that he can kind of just like focus on things. And he doesn't have to be this 3-point shooter guy anymore. He can really be this guy that just plays really good defense with the team, rebounds, and is just active and gets like garbage points, like cleans stuff up around the basket and puts it back. But if he is open for a 3, we know he can take it and possibly hit it. So Darren, good morning, man. I'm glad you're here this morning. Champagne, 4 threes, not bad. Yes, I was saying earlier, I think that Justin's making a strong case to get some of these minutes over some of the guys that may have been in the rotation ahead of him just because of such a strong performance last night. I mean, he was a dead eye, and he's really good in the corner with the threes. I really count on him to make that shot if he gets it. It's weird. He's not totally surprising, Andrew, in a way, because he's one of these guys just like Fred. He's this undrafted guy that just like he has such a heart and such wants a determination to win and to get the ball, to be that short and to get some of the offensive rebounds that he gets and putbacks is a real determination. And some of the things I've seen him do between the G League games and the games on the main roster is phenomenal. He has a real he has a real drive, and he's a real one. Like, he's in the kind of vein of Fred VanVleet, where he's going to try and overachieve and become somebody in this league. And I could see him becoming a main important rotation guy off the bench for us in the next couple of years and sticking around just because of his heart and the way he works. So I'm really excited about Champagnie. Darren, Fred VanVleet and Pascal taking over and playing so well together. Yes, they are really the two figureheads for sure. But then you add in these other guys that are around them too, like Scotty, Gary, and OG, and there's just too many threats all around that it just opens it up for everybody. And because they're all so unselfish, and the way the ball's going every which way, somebody's going to get an open shot. Like, I don't understand how anybody thinks that they could stop our offense at this point. So if you think about that, nobody can really stop our offense, and nobody's going to be able to play against our defense also, because there's going to be stretches of game where we completely shut down teams for like half a quarter. We've done that in a couple of games recently on the down low. We didn't really pay attention or realize it, but there was a quarter against New York where they didn't score for like 6 minutes, and there was a quarter against the Clippers, same kind of thing. So this is going to happen. There's two different things that can happen at different times in the game. We can be unstoppable, and they can't do anything against us on defense at the same time. So I really have high hopes for this team. And I think that people want to project them lower just because we're so new and we're supposed to be in development and stuff like that. But they're really sleeping on us. And I think that when Greg Popovich saw the game last night, he's going to probably start telling people that we're a serious threat to win the championship this year, and that he saw the real Raptors and he understands what we're doing. He's going to start telling people this. Like, you're going to hear Greg Popovich say something at some point in the next couple of months where he thinks the Toronto Raptors are actually one of the biggest threats to win the championship right now. And nobody's even saying that or understanding that, because we're just so out of left field all of a sudden, and they don't think that it's possible. But they don't understand a fast track and the way that development and things can happen really quickly when you have a special point guard rookie that's also guarding centers like Scotty Barnes. And our guys were already here. We had this kind of team 2 years ago. We've had this team. We've just been ugly because of different reasons, extenuating circumstances. And now the settings are right, and the roster's healthy, and we've got our tools. This is just the established championship way that we handle things, and nothing's changed. So they should be worried. Everybody should be on notice. And I seriously believe that this is going to get said by Popovich. You hear me saying this today. He saw us last night for the first time. He understands who we are, and he's going to start telling people that people need to watch out for the Raptors. I'm not lying. All right, let's keep going. Andrew's saying give Malachi's minutes to Champagnie if he can hit these shots. Yeah. Give Champagnie minutes from Svi. Give Champagnie minutes from whoever is slumping on the second unit. Whoever is going to go out there and get their little chance on the court and looks badass should be getting more time after that in the next game. So Justin, from what he did last night, he should be one of the. There's Doug Smith said last night Justin was the 9th guy up. Because we have our main 8, the 5 that start, and then the 3 big guys. And then it's really, is it Svi? Is it Yuta? Well, last night it was Justin. Justin was the 9th guy. So we'll see. I think that he'll get the first shot again tonight. So we'll see. Let's see. Darren's saying Yuta should enjoy the COVID protocol. Hope his ankle heals right. This COVID protocol thing has been such a blessing in disguise. And the fact that we had it over Christmas and it minimized messing up our schedule with postponements and really backloading our schedule with more games is really a real huge blessing in disguise too. I think that this was the best thing that's ever happened to Fred VanVleet in some ways. Getting this little COVID period of time off where he could just chill, be with his family, recharge, feel good. He actually says his body feels better than it did at the start of the season right now. And it looks the same for Pascal. He looks fresh as hell. He looks fresh, like he's not tired and he's not worn down. And that's part of what's happening right here. Is this COVID break has actually been a real blessing, because it wasn't a bad sickness that they had to really fight against to get back. It was just basically like getting an all-star break in the middle of the season already. And they're going to get an all-star break again. So go all out until the all-star break now, and you're going to get another week off. Well, maybe not Fred and Pascal, but the rest of the team. All right, let's keep going. Darren, 120 points. Offense is about right. Defense should be 100 points allowed and less. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're clicking on offense really nice right now. I want to see a really tough defense. I want to see a high quality Western Conference team. I want to see Brooklyn. I want to see Miami. I want to see Chicago in our new state. I want to see these teams take us on in our true real state now and see exactly how it goes down. See how we work in our offense and see if our defense can mess them up. Because I think that one of the or both of those will happen in most games. That there will either not be able to be stopped by the other team because of too many weapons, like I was just talking about, or we're going to be able to shut down teams in the fourth quarter when it really counts and really mess them up. You put the combination of those two things together. Look out! Look out! I think that people are sleeping on us. Like, this is what I saw at the beginning of the season when I was making a championship prediction and saying the Raptors could win the championship, and everybody thought I was crazy. Well, this is what I was seeing on paper. It's finally come to fruition here in January. And I believe it now more than ever, just because the synergy and the talent level and what we can potentially do as a team is just nasty. I said it earlier, and I really believe it. It could be some games look like we're the Harlem Globetrotters and they're the Washington Generals out on the court. It's just like not even going to be in the same class of teams in the NBA because we've routed the last two opponents. And I think that we should get used to this because we're going to make teams look really bad really soon. And it could be another one tonight with Milwaukee. Oh, yeah, let's make Milwaukee look bad, real bad. Okay, let's keep going. Wow, I love that you guys are here now. Andrew, our starters have tons of scoring power. We just need consistent scoring off the bench. Yep. And, we're going to find it in different ways at different times. If we are too reliant on our starters, that's fine too, in a way, because honestly, these guys are badasses. Like, we could get 30 points from Fred, 30 points from Pascal, 20 points from OG, 20 points from Gary, and that's 100 points right there just from those four guys. And that's very possible on one given night where those two guys have 30 points and those other two guys have 20. And, everything's gravy on top of that. I mean, it's going to be weird. I'd like to see it more equally distributed. And it would be nice if the bench could contribute more. But our starters are rolling right now. Like, they really are scoring a lot of the game points for us. But, yeah, we do want more balance. And you know what? I think we'll find it as Precious gets more comfortable. Kem maybe could be more offensive minded. It'll help. And then Chris is on and off. Chris will be having really good offensive games here and there that will really help that. And, Svi, Yuta, those guys are scorers too. They can do some stuff. Let's see. Keep going. Andrew, our team will be insane once our guys develop. Precious will turn into Montrezl Harrell. Gary will turn into Beal. Scotty will turn into Kawhi. There's a lot of potential in what you're saying. Precious is kind of like Montrezl Harrell. That'd be interesting. Gary is Beal. I see the similarities in the comparison. And Scotty as Kawhi. Yeah, there was a Kawhi move he did last night where he was very forceful and aggressive, where he came right at the basket and he just took a really short jumper and beat his opponent that way. That was a very Kawhi move. But the game last night, he was really showing his Magic Johnson last night. Like, seriously. To me, he looked just like Irvin Johnson with the no-look passes. And like I said, that one fast break play, it looked like Showtime LA Lakers, Magic Johnson in the break, no look to James Worthy on the right, and he dunks it. And that was Barnes to Pascal at that one play in the fast break, because it was a fast break. And that's the thing, too. We're not even running yet. Just imagine Scotty running point on a high-tempo, up-tempo offense where he's actually getting the ball as a rebound, and he's sprinting with the ball down the court, dribbling, and it's going straight into a fast break like that on the regular. That's very possible to be happening a lot very soon. I mean, and I love those comparisons for the most part. I hate Beal as a player. But, I guess Gary and Beal, that's a compliment to Gary, sure. Let's see. Darren, the East is ripe for picking. We win with better defense. Pascal rebounding like Rodman. Where did this board man come from? Oh, man, it's always been there. I think that, in some ways, this is what's happening for Fred and Pascal. Is most of the season they've been burdened with really carrying this team, and so, because of injuries, different things like that. And now they're feeling a breath of fresh air, a little bit of weight off their shoulders, and now they can just kind of focus on the things that they want to focus on. And it may be that Pascal's like really focusing harder on rebounds and we're seeing it more, but he's always been kind of a good rebounder and somebody important to that. But I think it is true that Fred and Pascal have a lot of the weight lifted off their shoulders all of a sudden in some ways, and that these other guys are contributing and helping them so much. It's a breath of fresh air, and they're feeling more relaxed, and they can just pick and choose what they're doing on the court a lot more than having to do everything on the court all the time, because it's very shared right now, and it's really good. Really good. Scotty carrying the ball in the last couple games is one of the best developments we've seen all year so far. That he is now finally one of our primary ball handlers, maybe our backup point guard now. And, Malachi's in trouble. He may not get to see many games at all other than just garbage time at this point, because we don't need him as a backup point guard in any kind of way. Because we can, and same for Delano. Like, I honestly, if our point guards are Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, and Pascal Siakam in the depth chart, I'm totally fine with that, because those two guys are showing some real adept ball handling skills and passing decisions between the two of them. Scotty and Pascal look like great ball handlers and distributors right now. And I am all for it. These tall Magic Johnson size point guards are fantastic. Let's keep going. And I love the reference to Rodman, Darren. Rodman's been a real big presence on this team. Chris posted another picture of Rodman last night after the game. So he's definitely influencing Chris Boucher right now, because he's posting Rodman all the time on his Instagram right now. So let's see. Darren, Drew, bench is weak. We need starters to mix with bench. Yeah, that's a smart thing that Nick's been doing with his rotation, is the mixing and matching. He pulls Scotty 4 minutes in the game, and then Kem comes in. And then after that, pretty much there's almost always at least one bench guy out there with starters, or at least bench with one starter, stuff like that. There's always a good combination of talent between that, and people are getting rested and they're not looking overly tired. Like, that's one of the things I love about this recent stretch, is nobody's looking absolutely gassed. Everybody's getting an equal amount of time, and we're working really well together in all kinds of different ways. That's really good, because we need more of that as we get into this really harrowing, difficult stretch of the season, where everything's going to be, these games are all compacted together. So we're going to really need to think about minutes and limiting the minutes for the starters when we are in games out of reach, like last night, where they got to get out and these bench guys have to fill in and do an adequate job. So, because they're playing for more time, even in those garbage minutes at the end, like they do stuff like Justin does, they're going to get more time. So let's keep going. G saying Champagne practices 200 corner shots each corner, I believe, every morning. Yeah, I totally believe that. The way he hits it, that is really his sweet spot. And I love that. We need a little corner three guy over there. And he actually hit one at the top of the key also for one of his threes also. So he's good around the edge too. Andrew, the Bucks lost to Detroit last night, so anything can happen. Yeah, they had a 6-game win streak, and Detroit snapped it. And like I said, their injuries, there's some interesting injuries for them. Like, they're missing a couple of their regular elements on their team that they have, like these scrappy slashers and three-point shooter guys that they have. There's a lot of them missing. So their depth is going to be really tough tonight. So if we can play full out, play high energy, and tire them out over the game, that'd be really good. We want Giannis to get in that frustration mode like we talked about earlier this season, remember? We were talking about how we love seeing Luka get frustrated, or different superstars on the other team get frustrated. I want that to happen again tonight, where Giannis looks completely frustrated because he's having a hard time dealing with people like Precious, dealing with people like OG, Pascal, just all over him and stuff like that. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. Let's see. Next comment is Darren saying we need a trade for a better bench. Goran, Svi, and Malachi for Moses, Powell, and another Mav. Forgot his name. Yeah. The trade deadline's open now, so I guess trading can happen. Rondo got traded in the trade deadline. Once again, Darren, Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster, and Nick Nurse have chosen this group to try and do what they're trying to do. They're not trying to switch it up in the middle of the season. They're going to let these guys fail as much as they want during the season. Nobody's going to get moved unless Goran gets moved. And that'd be great. I'd love to see that. But nobody's going to get moved because they want to ride this team through and see what we can get out of it. So, all right, let's keep going. Darren used to be a Knick. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Scotty needs to be that Kawhi. He can dominate. Yeah. That's an aspect of his game that we're going to unlock and see more and more as time goes on, where Scotty gets more comfortable and competent with what he's doing in the NBA and understands just how much he can force his will and athleticism on the game. He's going to do things that Kawhi does, where he takes over the game. He scores like 8 straight points, and we're kicking ass. Like, he's going to be that kind of dominant player. I really see it coming because honestly, he's making such good decisions, and his physicality and the way he is as an athlete is just really hard to deal with, just like Kawhi. So it's coming. It's just it's so early, and so like sometimes this kind of stuff, like I saw Coach Allen just did a clip on Kawhi and Scotty and the differences and about them in their rookie year. And I'm going to tell you right now, what he was saying is that Scotty's way ahead of Kawhi. In his rookie year, Kawhi couldn't shoot half as good as Scotty right now. And he wasn't even doing half of the things he's doing right now as far as like being aggressive, going to the basket, or any of this decision-making stuff. So Scotty's ahead of Kawhi. Kawhi in his rookie year was not as good as Scotty. So this is really interesting stuff because when we see the floor where he's starting from is a little bit higher than even where Kawhi Leonard started in his rookie year. We got to understand that. Andrew, Fred is a lot more effective when he doesn't have to play 42 minutes a game. He's also a lot more effective when he doesn't have to carry the water all the time. He doesn't have to dribble. He doesn't have to make all the really important decisions all the time on the court. He can kind of just be in the system offense, be the outlet like for the double team on the outside to kick it out to and hit the three, because Pascal's getting the defense to collapse on him. And then it's just out to Fred for an easy open shot. And he's making them. That's the thing. Fred is such a pro. He's so good with his open shot now at this point. He makes them pay. And he has no mercy with it at this point. Like, he's nasty right now. The way he's shooting right now is just so nasty. They give him just a little bit of breath, a little bit of room, and he's nailing it. And I love that. I love that right now. And catch and shoot instead of having the dribble to make his shot is a huge improvement, and one of these great developments that's come from Scotty handling the ball. And I love this. Andrew, even Gary got 3 assists last night. We have lots of playmakers. They're all unselfish. They're all giving it up. They're giving in every which way, and they're finding the best shots. And it just looks really smooth. It looks like good teamwork. And the potential is endless. Endless with this. I want to test this against the best defenses in the league. I want to see how this team does against the supposed best defense in the league. I really want to have these tests because I have a good feeling about how Raptors are going to do in all these kind of situations. I really do. Let's see. Andrew's saying that, gee, I'm telling y'all, Fred is Curry light. He's actually one of the best shooters in the league right now. He really is. He really is. If he's taking after Steph Curry and stealing some of his stuff and the way he operates and the way he's doing things on the court, kudos to you, Fred. Keep doing it, because that's a great role model, somebody to follow in the footsteps to try and be like. You know, one of the things about Fred that's really interesting is he's breaking all kinds of three-point records for the Raptors right now. Like, he could come close to I'll bet you he could beat Donyell Marshall's record for most threes in the game. He's already beaten some record for most threes in the last 5 games. Like, over a 5-game period, he has over 30 threes. And, he's climbing the all-time career three-point stats in the all-time Raptors list. He's number 3 right now, but I could see him leapfrogging over Morris Peterson at some point, real close, and getting up there near Kyle Lowry and challenging him for the all-time franchise leader in three-pointers made. That's where Fred's going if he continues to go on this kind of like direction with the way he's shooting right now. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Darren, so true, Drew. He's getting rest now that they're playing hard D and efficient O. Gary's still fully ready. Legs late look weak. all these guys, especially OG, have looked like they're not totally exactly right on rhythm, but they're close. I think Pascal is pretty much there, and Fred looks pretty good, but Gary and OG are still kind of figuring it out. And they're not even reaching any kind of like full potential with what they could do offensively. We know that OG is a much more dynamic, dominant scorer in some ways than what he's done in the last couple games. We know that we could see him be more aggressive and get a lot more points and stuff. He's just getting a start from the COVID protocols, and he was actually out a bit more before that also. So OG on the down low is kind of coming back from a lot, and we should expect to see him get more and more involved and maybe even get more and more points as the season goes on, just to help carry the load all around. But I don't think his rhythm's exactly right. We saw OG at the beginning of the season in a lot different, more smoother kind of play than he's playing right now. So I think that that's another area we're going to see improvement, whether it's Gary getting his shot to fall more consistently or OG looking more aggressive and looking to score more. Those things will happen still. Let's keep going. Andrew, he is third in the threes made in the league, and he has most catch and shoot threes in the league right now. That really surprised me when y'all told me that the other day, that it's Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, and Fred VanVleet. That's number 1, 2, and 3, and three-pointers made in the entire league right now. And I love that. I love that Fred's right up there with them. And he should be, because he's a dead eye. He is a dead eye. Darren, missing was GTJ short front rim. Okay, Graham, good morning, man. We have Fred Curry, Magic Scotty, and Pascal Rodman. I love it, man. Who cares about those old Bulls teams? We got all these old superstars on our team now. That's so awesome, Graham. I love that. I concur with G there. MK47, I'm loving point guard Scotty in these jumbo lineups. Yeah. And think about those in the playoff scenarios, that kind of stuff. It's like, really, if you can play big, it becomes a half court offense more in the playoffs, we're going to have some good success, because we played really well in the half court in the last couple games. Because in the beginning of the season, we had really struggled in half court offense. We really were getting most of our easy baskets from being in transition, trying to cause turnover and stuff like that. But now I have a lot more confidence in the Raptors setting up half court and running sets and working to get the best open shot. That is really looking a lot more fluid and easier to work towards that shot than before, because defenses were just keeping up with us and just keeping us blocked out. But now, with so much talent in so many different ways, and the guys actually having some familiarity and some cohesion between each other, it's nasty. They're going to be able to get these, like, we're seeing pass outs that go across the court, and then all of a sudden a guy's open and he hits a three. We're seeing like really quick like passes, like down the court, like the stuff last night that Fred was doing with Pascal when he saw him get a little guy near the basket, where he'd lob it to him and get an easy like lay-in like that. He recognized that. That's the thing about Fred and Pascal, is they recognize the mismatches. They recognize when the other team has given them a little shot, open the door a little bit to go through and get a basket, and they're executing and taking advantage of it. I love seeing those lobs to Pascal for that really easy shot right at the basket, like, and him recognizing it and getting it to him in the right way. It's fantastic. Let's keep going. Let's see. I think Justin should be given more minutes. Ethan, good morning, man. Ethan, thanks for coming and visiting us. We're here every morning live, sometime around 9 or so. Yeah, Ethan, I totally agree. I think Justin is going to get more minutes because of what he did last night. And we'll see that. Well, especially since these guys are still on protocols, but even when they come back, I think we may see a different order of who's coming off the bench between him and Svi and Yuta and stuff like that. So we'll see. Kawhi was the worst shooter of the 2017 draft comparisons his year, according to his draft report. Yeah, he wasn't a good shooter in the beginning. He was just like a raw talent and developed and stuff like that. They said the same thing about Scotty. And we see what that's all about. I mean, really, Scotty's not a bad shooter at all. I have a lot of confidence with him. Even when he shoots a three and he misses it, I'm fine with that. It's like we want him to shoot threes. If he misses a couple, that's fine. But we want him to be aggressive to try and score. That's the most important thing with Scotty. If he misses shots, I don't care. He's been a good 50% shooter so far in his rookie season. He misses a couple shots, that's fine. We just want him to be aggressive. We want him to try and score more because in a lot of ways, I don't feel like he's being aggressive at all right now. That he's really just being an unselfish teammate and working more on his defense, his rebounding, and passing to other guys, and not as much like looking for his own shot as much as he could, because he really could be forcing his shot and trying to find a shot more often than he is in the game right now. It's really in the flow. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, Ethan, I bet he gets 10 minutes per game next few games. Yeah, I think that Champagnie has really earned it. Like, the weird thing about him is he's like a small forward shooting guard. Like, defensively, he can guard guards, which is great because he does a really good job of rebounding and doing stuff down low also. But he can be like a guard, like a guy we can bring into the game if a guard is bugging us and he's really too active and he's not, we need somebody to just try and hold him down. Justin's kind of like that too. It's weird because he can guard guards also, but I love that he gets down there and goes for offensive rebounds also and really mixes it up with the big guys too. But he's really good at guarding guards. So that may get him into games too, is like when we have our bigger guys and we have somebody out there that's a little bit harder to chase because he's a little smaller, then you bring Justin in and let him chase him around. Okay, let's see. You guys are getting there. Okay, Ethan's asking, who are the centers on the Raptors? Well, right now, our starting center to me is Scotty Barnes. I think Scotty Barnes is actually our starting center. I know they've been listing OG at starting center, but I don't, come on. OG's a wing. Pascal's a wing. Those guys are wings. They're forwards and guard. They could even be shooting guards. But to me, Scotty Barnes is the biggest guy out there. He's heaviest guy, and he is our center. And he often does have to muscle the big guy early in the game before Kem comes in. But our centers really is Kem, Precious, and Chris to a degree. So is Barnes, Kem, Precious, and Chris Boucher, if we really need him to be. And then I guess Pascal could possibly do it. But yeah, it's a weird time. I think this Scotty is actually our starting center. That's how I would put it out there. That's what I like to think about. That's the only way it makes me okay with it. Because last year when Pascal and OG had to play center, I hated it. And I never ever want to say that they're playing center ever again. So Scotty, we can say Scotty's the starting center that also plays point guard. I don't know. It's crazy. All right, Darren, how do we beat the Bucks? Okay, we got a key on stifle Giannis. Obviously, we let him shoot outside. We don't let him have an easy path to the basket. If he's coming in transition with the ball down the court, we stop him. We don't let him get any kind of rolling thunder going to the basket or getting near the basket. We lay off him a little bit and dare him to shoot the outside. That's fine. And then with Middleton, we really watch out for him shooting anywhere. We got a key on him. This is the thing. Now we can have OG clamp down on Giannis and say, Scotty, you go mess with Chris Middleton. We have plus defenders. We have OG type defenders, like 3 or 4 of them now in our starting lineup. And that's going to be huge for shutting down Giannis and Chris Middleton at the same time. And a lot of the guys that Milwaukee's missing right now, Darren, are guys like Connaughton and DiVincenzo and Grayson Allen. These guys are all out for COVID protocols and stuff like that. So they're missing a lot of their role player, like 3-point shooter slasher guys. So their depth is in big trouble tonight. So I fully expect us to run them off the court. We got to play at a high energy all game, stifle and frustrate Giannis, and we will have good success tonight. I honestly believe that our team can look like they did against the Spurs, against the Bucks tonight. That if we come out and start right and we just start messing them up, we will kill their spirit and we can hold a 15-point lead for most of this game and get a big win over them, an easy win. And one of the things is tonight, if we win, it's 1,000 Raptor victories in franchise history. That's what we're looking for tonight, is the big 1,000. 1,000 Raptor victories in the history. But they won't talk about that because they don't want to jinx it. But if they win tonight, they will be talking about it at the end of the game. Trust me. All right, let's keep going. That's what I think, Darren. That's really what I think we got to do. All right, Darren, Fred Van Thief will pickpocket him on the dribble, and our 6'9s will harass him. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we just really got to bug Giannis. We want him to be in that point in the first quarter and the second quarter where he's frustrated, where you see him like either slamming the ball or just looking like mad. We want him to look frustrated tonight. So look for that in the game. The sooner we see Giannis not happy and not happy with how the game's going, the happier we will be. Yeah. All right. We can beat the Freak. We can stop him. We've always done a good job stopping or slowing him down, as G said, in the past. We've done a good job. We did it in the playoffs in that epic series where we won the championship that year. We did it at different times. We did it earlier this year. We played them, remember? But they didn't have Giannis, and we beat them. So we've already beaten Milwaukee once this season. Let's beat them again. Let's treat them like New York this year and just sweep them. We can do this. We've got it in the right places. We can beat them tonight. Okay, yeah. Scotty can play all 5 positions. Guys, I just want to say I was on the Confederacy of Dunks podcast last night. It's a Raptors NBA podcast. I guessed it last night. And they asked me who my top 5 rookies of the NBA are so far this season. And this is what I said. I said, number 1, Scotty Barnes at power forward. Number 2, Scotty Barnes at small forward. Number 3, Scotty Barnes at point guard. Number 4, Scotty Barnes at center. And number 5, Scotty Barnes at shooting guard. Because that's the way I see it. He can play all positions. You are exactly right, Kenrick. And he can excel at all of them in the different things that you have to do at the different positions. He is insanely good. I don't understand how everybody, these so-called NBA experts, had slept on him and didn't understand what the hell was coming into the league this year. It's really like they failed, but we did not, because we got him, and we've seen it for a couple of years now. We've been working on landing Scotty Barnes somehow, some way into our franchise, and we did it. And now we get to reap the rewards of believing in this kid and picking him at number 4 last year, and he's going to be the best player from this draft. I know it. I can already see it. Okay, let's see. That's a long wall. You guys are talking about the Great Wall of Raptors. Yeah, these guys are so tall. This is different team than Giannis has faced. Like even this team today, the Raptor team today that Giannis is going to face is going to be completely different than any Raptor team he's ever faced, including the championship team, because this team is a tall team that can match up with him in all kinds of same ways. All of his advantages he has against most NBA teams are negated against the Raptors. And there's an eraser of that, and his name is OG Anunoby. If OG doesn't score any points tonight, but he takes Giannis down with him and they're not scoring points tonight, I will be completely fine with that. OG could just shut him down for the whole entire game and score 6 points, and Giannis gets 10. I'm completely fine with that, because he doesn't like playing OG. He doesn't like playing Pascal. He's not going to like playing Scotty. He's not going to like having Kem Birch and Precious Achua around messing with him either. There's a lot of different guys that are going to mess up Giannis tonight. Oh, yeah. Let's keep going. Alistair, good morning, man. Nick Nurse is basically running the lineup with Scotty coming off the bench. I love how when Scotty comes out for Kem, he slides back to small forward. It's so cool how they're using Scotty right now. And I love it. And they're doing such a good job. Nick is really doing such a good job with the rotations and stuff like that. I wish Precious got in sooner, but I understand somebody's got to wait a little bit. But at least Precious is getting enough time in the game still. And he's still an established part of that main rotation for sure. But it's crazy. Like some teams wish that Precious could be like their 7th or 8th guy on their team. But our team, he is like that. And other teams, he'd have to start. And other teams, he'd have to be relied on pretty heavy. But right now, we can allow for him to develop it from his raw potential right now into something slowly. He doesn't have to be forced to it. Like Scotty didn't really have to be forced to develop as quick as he is. He's just naturally developing this quick. He's just naturally comes pre-packaged with all this stuff already downloaded into the program with all these skills. So it's not like we're throwing him to the fire or putting him in an uncomfortable pressure situation. This is just naturally what he can do and do what he's doing. And we don't want to do that to Precious necessarily. So it's great that we don't have to rely on him super, super tough. But I do really like what they're doing with the switching around. And I really love that he's not afraid to play Kem, Precious, and Chris all together, because that's a big thing, like literally a big thing to have 3 guys that are like that out there, and they're all not kind of stomping into each other. Like if you play Embiid and Drummond, you can't do that. You can't play Embiid and Drummond out there at the same time, but you can play Precious, Cam, and Chris Boucher, all three all at once. And that's not a big deal. We don't lose for it. We don't lose mobility and speed for it. We're just fine because Chris is so weird and special, and Precious is such an athlete. So we can do that kind of stuff. It's going to be so nasty. It's going to be so nasty. Oh my gosh. Darren's saying we need Scotty to shoot over the Greek Freak like he did over Durant. Yeah, I want all these kind of photo ops, whether it's Pascal dunking on Durant or, Yuta blocking somebody. I want photo ops. I want to see a Scotty Barnes taking Giannis to school, dunking in his face picture that I can put on as my Facebook cover photo. Yeah, I want to see that. I love that idea, Darren. MK47, when Scotty decides he's going to go into the rim, he always gets a good look or he gets fouled. He is very efficient. Like, we get the ball to him. It's not very often a turnover. It's not very often a missed shot or nothing. Like, we don't get anything on that possession when we come down. He gets something, whether it's a pass off to somebody else, a clean shot that he makes, or even he'll miss the shot and he'll get his own rebound. He's really good at following his own shot when he misses, like, and getting a second chance shot off his own shot. He loves doing that. Like, if he misses it close, he's going to get that rebound right back and put it back. Like, I noticed that about him. He loves tracking his own shot. Yeah, he's been very efficient. I love that, MK. Alistair, Fred and Pascal are extremely good. They draw help all game and give our teammates great looks. And bottom line, one of us can have a bad night like Gary the other day and OG yesterday. It doesn't matter. That's right. That's right. There's enough pistons in this engine. I shouldn't say pistons. There's enough gears. There's enough workhorses on this team in different ways that can get points, that if somebody's not hitting one night, somebody will carry the slack. It's that analogy I was saying. There's a water jug. We got to fill the water jug to a certain height. And some different people are going to fill the water more on certain nights and some less on certain nights. And we can afford to have somebody have a bad game and still win games, because if we cover that up, just let them go on cruise control where they're playing kind of like, they're playing where they're playing good defense, they're rebounding, maybe they're facilitating plays happening by being a playmaker, but their shot's not going down. They can still be very effective on this team because somebody's going to be making their shot somewhere. And it's just maybe Gary lays off shooting if he's a little bit cold, or maybe he doesn't even play and the minutes get somebody else. Somebody's going to come in and do it. So it's exciting. We have a lot of different weapons. A lot of different people can help fill up the score totals for us now. Alistair, only way Bucks win is if off corners, threes, and back-to-back, but 100% Raptors are the better team. Yeah. We really got to watch their three-point shooting. There were times last night that Vassell guy killed us. It was cool. It was like a couple FSU players out there playing. But the thing is, Vassell, he came from FSU. He's been in the league 2 years now, and Scotty was only there for 1 year, so they never played together. It's so weird. They're both Florida State guys that just came in the league 1 year after another, but they never played together because Vassell's rookie year was the 1 year Scotty played at FSU. But he really came out and played really well, Vassell. He was kind of killing us for three, and we needed to come and find him. We can't let somebody do that tonight for Milwaukee. We can't let one of their shooters, especially Middleton, get confidence and get rolling. So we really need to watch out for those corner threes, like you're saying. And also, stifle Giannis as much as possible. The whole thing about the back-to-back is I feel real good about it because we didn't overexert our guys last night. The game last night went really well. We were able to rest guys. Like, they all looked really fine at the end of the game. Nobody looked tired at the end of the game last night. Fred was smiling. Everybody's smiling. So I think we're going to be in good shape tonight. And our depth is really strong right now, even. Like, compared to their depth, it's not as good. Like, Milwaukee is missing a lot of guys, and their talent level is a lot lower than they normally are. So we need to key on that and execute on that for sure. Darren's saying, MK Alistair, Freak Nation, unite. Welcome back. Yes. Cult of the Raptor Freak. We will get hoodies sometime this year, y'all. I promise y'all. We're going to get a design together. We'll put it on a nice quality hoodie, and we'll have the Cult of the Raptor Freak available to everyone to represent worldwide. And I promise y'all, we're going to get this together. I'm going to get a logo designer, and we're going to figure this out in the next month or so. I'm going to try and figure it out. All right, let's keep going. Darren, don't worry about the spammer. The spammer is just Goran Dragic's ghost account. Raymond Jacob, Does Scotty have any Uncle Dennis that may pull Scotty away out of Toronto? Oh my gosh. Yes, Raymond. These are the couple kind of things that you got to think about with a talent like Scotty. Different people trying, like, this is the thing I worry about is people in the United States are going to get in his head and say dumb things about Toronto and playing for Toronto and mess up his head, like Vince Carter or Tracy McGrady. This is the same kind of dumb shit people were saying to them that influenced their decision at some point. Well, I think this guy's a little more intelligent in some ways than those two guys. Like, I'm no kidding, because he's a very worldly, wherewithal kind of guy that understands where he is, and nothing's given, nothing's granted. And he should really understand that he came to a world-class organization that's going to take care of him and give him everything that he wants. Yeah, because we will at this point. He can consider himself getting a max contract from us every single time it's coming up. I guarantee it. And, these other guys, there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of days about whether we can keep this team together on the long haul. Well, I think that in the long haul, our priority should be Scotty Barnes to build around. But, it doesn't mean that guys like Pascal and Fred can't linger around and be on this team with him in the years to come for many years. Like, this core that we have right now could be together for like 8 years. Now, a couple of pieces, one or two guys may have to go off and do different things, and we bring young guys and continue to develop so the talent continues to stay high. But everybody who thinks that these all guys can't exist together for a long period of time, they're wrong. Because we can make the money work and keep this core together. And these guys are smart enough to understand that if they want to win a lot of championships, they may want to stay together and may take a discount. Like Fred took a discount on his last deal to try and help us get Giannis. So these guys are willing to do this. They have the right thing. But we do need to worry about knuckleheads around him maybe trying to influence him to leave for some dumb reason. Maybe it's anti-Canadianism. It may be all kinds of different stupid things that could be said to Scotty. But for right now, it looks like he really loves being here. Let's keep the honeymoon going as long as we can. And let's just not have any conflicts. Let's just not have any reason for him to not want to play for the Raptors, whether it's like whatever it is. But I think that he's such a team guy. And I think, it's the kind of thing like when you have your first girlfriend or your first thing like that, you'll always remember your first. And this is his first NBA team. So that's very special in itself and bonds somebody in this way. And that's part of the reason why Giannis is still a Milwaukee Buck right now. So hopefully Scotty is the same way. I really want Scotty to be like Fred and Pascal and not like Vince and Chris Bosh. Because those guys, they did that. They did that eventually. We invested a lot of time in them and did a lot of things with them, and then they just took off. So hopefully this never happens with Scotty. That he could be. Let's go old school with this. He's an old school kind of player. Shadows of Magic Johnson, Tim Duncan, and different old players in him. Hopefully he's an old school player in the way that he also sticks with one team his whole career. Because that's the way the NBA used to be. And I wish the NBA would go more back to that. And I understand it's more freedom for the player and more power for the player the way it is now. But there is something to be said about being somebody like Reggie Miller. There is something to be said as being somebody like Larry Bird or John Stockton that played their whole entire career with one team. And I miss that. I miss that about the NBA. So, yeah, this is a concern, Raymond, but I don't want to talk about or worry about it too much right now because we're still in the honeymoon period. But there's going to be times probably in 3 years when his rookie contract's coming up, we're going to hear a little bit of buzz around then. And then, of course, hopefully he'll re-sign. But every time his contract's going to come up, people are going to be coming after him. They're going to be coming after him pretty hard, and they're going to be throwing all kinds of crazy ideas and things towards him. And hopefully he just realizes that we can give him the max money. Like I think Freddie said it on the podcast yesterday that we can give Scotty the max money for at least the first 8 years of his career. So we should hope to have him for 8 years at least, because if he really wants to get the most money he can get, that's what will happen. So hopefully, yeah, Raymond, I'm with you, man. I hope he retires as a Raptor, honestly. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, Darren's saying, no, Scotty doesn't have any uncles like that, just a nice mom, like Kyle has a nice mom. That's good. Andrew, our team will be back in contention in no time. If we can make the Eastern Conference Finals starting Louis Scola, then we could do it with this lineup too. Wow, man, a Scola reference, man. I haven't heard his name enough this year. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, he's exactly right. Honestly, this is the thing. Nobody wants to believe the truth, the ugly truth about the Raptors, that they're nasty, because nobody wants to believe it, because we were nasty just a couple years ago and they were hoping we were just dead and gone and we're going to be just this little horrible team like Detroit and Orlando down at the bottom. Just that's what they were hoping. Nah, bitch, we ain't dead. We're back. We're like that zombie that puts his arm up through the ground and pulls himself back out. And we're right back to where we were 2 or 3 years ago with championship caliber players, championship caliber kind of team, championship caliber mentality. We're not a dog of this league, and everybody wants to believe that. All these anti-Canadian NBA fans, all these anti-Raptor fans in the NBA, they just so want to believe that the Raptors are dead, but you're so fucking wrong. And you're going to find out every stop when we come to each one of y'all's towns and we beat y'all down. You're going to come and find out, oh yeah, they're going to find out real quick the real reality of what this Raptors team is. And the NBA media machine can poo-poo it and look past it and everything, but the results are coming. And we're going to see it this month. We're going to see it. We've already starting to see it, and it's going to continue. And I want to see it in effect tonight. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's keep going. Darren's welcoming Raymond Jacob. Yes. Alistair, all the patience Masai had for Siakam is finally paying off. Man, Siakam, listen, he is like on the fast track in a lot of ways with his development. Like we were talking about yesterday, I was talking about how I didn't believe in Siakam when he first came to Toronto. Like I thought he'd be a good role player. I thought he'd be always a bench player for his whole career. I didn't think he'd develop any kind of offensive game. I always thought he was just going to be an energy guy, rebounder, and a defender. And he's blown me away. He's growing on the fast track like Scotty's going to grow on the fast track. And that's the thing. We've got these young guys who are like 26, 27, 28. They're like 30-year-old vets already. We're on the fast track. We're a fast track team. We don't mess around. We make the most of our time. We don't wait around for guys to get better. We push them to get better, and they get better. And if they don't get pushed or go with it, they're out. They don't stick around here. So the guys that are really working hard and pushing themselves like Fred and Pascal as leaders, it goes all the way down and everybody else sees it and they push themselves too. Gary, expanding his game to be more defensive this year. Pascal, expanding his offense to be even more specific and concise. Fred, expanding his leadership in different ways to benefit the team to the utmost point. This is what I'm talking about. The development doesn't stop with any of these guys. They're still all developing in the different little key areas that they need to maximize and make this team better and better every day. And it can happen really fast and quickly if your good habits have been built up over years and years of doing it, like before, when you're in high school, in JUCO, in college, in your rookie year, every year. And oh man, this team, oh my gosh, man, it's so fun, Alistair. It's so fun. And it's so great to see Masai get to sit there and watch the game by himself, just silently seeing what he created and built. Like to me, it's like somebody who carved some beautiful thing out of wood, like this beautiful sculpture out of wood, and they're just finished and they're looking back at it and they just feel an immense sense of pride in what they've created. And I feel like that's what's happening. Yeah, the hoodies, guys, they're going to come. MK47, thanks, Alexi, for starting the community. These times have been very lonely, and there's nothing like sharing time with you, Darren, G, Sue, and everyone else in the chat. You know what, man? This is the same thing for me, guys, too. MK, this is partly done out of desperation, that I've been here at home with the pandemic and I've just felt this strong need to talk Raptors with people that love it as much as me, that have the same kind of passion. And I love that this unites us. And I love the development that's happening here with us. It's exponential too. Yeah, baby. I've noticed though, when the team is better and they're in good shape, we get a lot more traffic. Haven't you noticed that, MK? But first of all, on that note, as a community, I want y'all to do a special cheer and well wish to Click 2 AM right now, who's got COVID at home. He's dealing with the COVID right now, and we all want to wish him better and get him off protocols too. This is affecting every level: the refs, the announcers, the players, the coaches, and the Raptor Freak cult. We have somebody on protocols, y'all. So let's give a good, hearty, get better, Click 2 AM, because we love you, man, and we miss you when you're not here with us, man. Oh, you're here. You are here. That's awesome. But yeah, Click, I hope you're feeling better already today. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's keep going. Yeah, we're never alone as a nation. I love this. I love this, guys. You guys really are. I'm seriously. We're all Raptor freaks. I've been using that nickname since the '90s. That was my first America Online email account. Was Raptor Freak at AOL in 1996 or something like that. And I love the name. But hey, I want everybody to be their own inner Raptor freak in themselves. We're all Raptor freaks. I love it. I love Fred VanVleet, all-star. Yep, COVID will not beat us this time. We're going to overcome fourth in the East, 45 plus wins. That's what Darren's saying. Wow. I really believe we could be the top team in the East still by the end of the year. I don't think that Milwaukee and Brooklyn have done enough to stay up top. Like their records aren't good enough to be not messed with by us. That really, in reality, we're only like 7 or 8 games out of the top spot. And that's very doable. That's not a huge margin, like 20 or 14 games or something like that. That's very doable for the amount of games we have over the rest of the season. That we could fuck around and end up being number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. There's no reason why that can't happen. We're going to have to get good luck, and the other teams are going to have to lose some too, but we could catch up to them. There's no reason why we can't. I really believe this. Okay, click 2 a.m. Glad you're here. I hope you're feeling much better today and you're continuing to feel better and better and get past COVID. If we can go 3-1 in the next 4 games, it will really change the direction of our season. Yeah. Yeah. If we can just start having every 4 games be 3-1, 3-1, we'll be in good shape by the end of the year, no matter what. Not even related to any of the other teams I just said right now. We can go 3-1 every 4 games from now on. We're going to be in good shape, but it's going to be a tall order. There's going to be a lot of good tests, but I love it because I feel like we have a good fighting chance in any game against anybody right now in this season. Now going forward with this squad, as long as we're healthy overall. Like, I don't want to be missing 2 or 3 guys all of a sudden in a couple weeks. I want everybody to stay healthy and just keep rolling. And with our sports medicine, Dr. McKechnie, and depth, we should be able to protect our guys from getting hurt in any kinds of ways. I really hope so. All right, let's keep going. OG improving his offense. He's not even hitting on all cylinders right now. We know that. He can do a lot more. Alistair, I love how Nick Nurse always tries new things. I love how he rotates everyone in and out quickly to give them enough rest to stay engaged. Yeah, that really is a big key. And it was something that was pissing me off in the first part of the season last year, is that our guys look gassed way too often. Like, we really didn't have our legs in a lot of the games we've been playing this season. We've been completely tired out at the end of games, and we've lost close games partly because of this. Well, now with everybody back in full strength, there's no reason why we should have tired legs or people looking like they're shooting with no energy at the end of the game, like in that Brooklyn game against Durant, the overtime. This team, with everybody possible there, we have the energy to outlast any team in this league because we have enough really good players. This is the thing. Most teams have a good starting lineup, maybe a good 4 players, really good 4 players, but they don't have like 8 or 9 players like us that are premium, really good players. And that's what's going to tire other teams out. I love it. You know what? Purple sounds good, Andrew. Purple, red, or black. Well, those 3 colors sound like the right colors for the variety of being able to get them. Yeah, I think that's true. Okay. MK saying Raptors are the best basketball team in the world. We are the modern Spurs, and soon everyone will see what we see. Yeah. Yeah, the secret's going to be out. They don't want to see it. They don't want to pay attention to us in different ways, whether it's putting us on their TV down there or even writing about us or even saying that our rookie is the best rookie in the league. They don't want to say any of that because they don't want to come to grips with reality. It's just like those Trumpers. They didn't want to come to grips with the reality of the election. It's the same thing. They don't want to come to grips with the reality that the Toronto Raptors are still a top team in the NBA and they're about to make a lot of noise. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, Ethan, Raptors should go for a guard off the bench. Diallo would fit well. Interesting. We've been speculating so much because of the G League guys coming in and the hardship exemptions about guys coming and playing, keeping guys on here. I think it's really evident that the Raptors are really going to stay pat at this point. The only person they'll try and move is Goran, obviously. But otherwise, I think everybody's off the table. I think that we're all in to try and go for it this year. It's not like we're a seller or a buyer on the trade market right now. I think we're staying pat, going with what we've got. And if we really want to, maybe we fine tune or make one small adjustment near the end that we see we need. And hopefully we don't need anything, because I like what we have right now, and we could really develop and go with what we got. We're going to be okay. I don't even want to guard at this point. Like, Malachi's enough insurance on the bench for a small point guard that can really chase a quick guy just in case, or even Justin, Fred. Those three guys can do that kind of work for us on this roster. But I really like this tall lineup with Scotty and Pascal doing the ball handling duties when Fred's not on the court. It just makes so much sense. And if Delano's the next guy on top of that, and the rotation, running the point, this is just really good stuff. This is really good stuff. But I'll have to check out Diallo. I've heard that name before, but I don't know how much I've actually seen him play. Darren, all gold like the Larry OB. Ooh, gold hoodies? Ooh, that may be a little ostentatious. Okay, let's see. Yeah, everybody, get better. Click 2 a.m. All right, let's see what he's saying. I'm on day 8, feeling a lot better, but my grandpa is in the hospital. He's 90 years old with Alzheimer's and COVID. Man, whatever happens, happens. Not many people make it to 90, so I'm thankful. Yeah, man, I hope the best for your grandfather and what he's dealing with right there. That's got to be, yeah, that's tough. My grandmother is in a home out in Scarborough. And they're very, very careful. They're locked down. Nobody can go see them right now. And I'm really glad she's somewhere in a place that protects her like that. But man, I know that's got to be scary and sucks. But I'm glad that you're feeling a lot better. And hopefully your grandfather will just pull through and get through all this also. We'll all say a little blessing and a prayer for him and just think well of him. All right. Yeah, click 2 a.m. Everyone's going through the same shit. At least I'm not alone. Thanks for your well wishes, guys. Hey, we got you, man. Like I said, I'm not going to do this and just up and go away all of a sudden. I've decided I'm committed to doing this. And since you guys really see the value in this community, I'm going to keep this going as long as we can. Like, honestly, I'll do this for years, a decade. I'll do this for a decade. If y'all really want to do this forever, we'll do this forever and make sure we have this place for us to be. And this is a positive space for people that love the Raptors and are passionate about them and want to think the best and wish the best for them. Because when we all visualize and premeditate good things happening for them, that's how championships are made. That's how 2019 happens, because nobody sees the possibility or believes in a team to be able to do that. And they did. So we want to be that little cult that believes in them no matter what and is helping to drive them to it psychically, subliminally, just because we put it in the realm of possibility in our own minds. And that's why I'm saying right now, I want them to win the championship this year, because it is in the realm of possibility. And we're going to remember us talking about this right now. If anything messes around and happens in the playoffs this year and they do win something or they do really well, that's what I'm saying. We got to open our minds to the possibility of amazing things to happen, even when there's so many naysayers and doubters out there that don't think that it's possible. There is a possibility for anything to happen. We all have to leave it open. I love it. I love it. All right. Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys are showing the support towards Click right now. Sorry to hear. We will be here every day to talk, and we have you and your grandfather in your prayers. Strength and solidarity between the Raptor Freak cult. I love this. The same way with the Raptors team. Click saying most teams just rely on superstar power. Without superstars, most of the teams in the league would be horrendous. Yes, we're a throwback in all kinds of different ways. Our rookie's a throwback in the way he's playing like Irvin Johnson. We're doing it like an old school kind of early NBA style in some ways, because the way that they used to play basketball was very team oriented. It was very like a collective and passing around. The flex offense is very similar to kind of early NBA offenses from like the 50s. And it's like tall guys win in these kind of leagues. It's like when you had George Mikan, you won the championship in that old NBA. And so we're just doing that with a whole bunch of tall guys and a whole bunch of weaving and offensive sharing and stuff like that. That's old school NBA right to the beginning of the 75 years. Oh, yeah, I love it. And like you update it with the new talent. That's the thing. We're doing old school fundamental ideas about basketball and mixing it with the absolute amazing athleticism and talent of today's athlete. And that's the fun about it, is it's a throwback with the new. It's like a marrying of the old and the new. I love it. I love it. Click 2 a.m. The trade deadline should be focused on Dragic. Yeah. Tragic is the only guy I want to see get moved anywhere. I'm sorry, Darren. I don't want to see Speed get traded. I want to see Tragic get traded out of here as quickly as possible, and we get something of value, and we use that roster spot finally for something good. Oh my gosh, please. Darren, Raps have set next 3 to 5 years towards top of the East. I think it is only going to get better. I don't see how it could get worse. Like, honestly, we're set up. We got the organization, we got the coach, we got the young players. They're all young and they're already established winners. And they're guys that know how to win. They have the roadmap. Sometimes with a young team, they just don't know what they're doing. They're like, and they got to figure out, well, this is how we win. So we don't need that because we have guys that have done it and understand the roadmap of how to get back there. And in a way, that's part of why we are fast tracking. Other than other teams that have to go down and develop and come back and rebuild. Well, we're not really doing a rebuild because we've got core guys from that championship team that are still involved in this team that are a major part of it. Fred, OG, and Pascal. So listen, they can call us a rebuild. They can call us dead in the water. They can think all they want, but they're crazy. Even Coach Allen, the basketball coach that teaches stuff, he doesn't think we're a playoff team this year. You're crazy, Coach Allen. You're going to get proven so wrong. Of course we're a playoff team. We're going to kill it this year. Oh, my gosh, we're going to kill it. Let's keep going. Alistair, if Raptors can play this till trade deadline and we get our center, that would be huge and a 360 for this team. You know what? Listen, my tune on the center thing is totally changing. I don't think we need the center. Like, we're looking nasty right now. Like the lineups with Precious and Cam and Chris out there, that you don't need a center when you got that out there. I mean, I'm serious. I think that we're okay right now. Like, if we could get some sort of kind of center, I guess maybe that'd be cool, but in a lot of ways, we don't need it. I'm really feeling good about this team exactly how it is right now, that we don't really need a whole lot more. Like, if we do one little move with Goran and we get an added bonus guy who can actually get in the mix and really fits, that's great. But otherwise, I don't think it's essential. Like, we can be fine with Goran just being the way it is and going through the rest of the season with exactly what we have right now. So it's not like we're desperate in any way. I think actually we're really set up in a lot of ways that we shouldn't be desperate to try and get somebody else on this team right now because we're in good shape. We're in really good shape. Let's see. Darren saying, yeah, dump Dragic for Moses and Powell. Sure. Andrew, anything can happen this year with COVID injuries. We could get lucky and win the chip. This is the same thing as 2019. And this is what I tell everybody. You know, winning a championship is partly skill and luck and a whole bunch of things lining up for you in some ways. And these things can happen. You know, we have the right basis and foundation a lot of different ways that we don't have to deal with a lot of stuff that other people have to deal with, whether it's Brooklyn with Kyrie, whether it's like, you know, James Dolan in New York. This was all part of my season preview, that there's fundamental issues in each franchise in this league, whether it's LeBron with the Lakers, you know, Kawhi with the Clippers, that causes them to shoot themselves in the foot. And we don't have anybody getting in the way of that on our own team for that. Not a player, not management, not coach. We're all on the same page and we're all working together. So that makes us super powerful and super scary. And we're going to it's going to be so much fun. I am so excited about 2022 year for the Toronto Raptors. It's just going to get better and better. Yeah, we get in the playoffs. We play guys a 7-game series. Fred's like, you know, you put us against anybody in a 7-game series, we'll beat them 4 games. And that's the mentality they're going to have. And we get in a series with people, we're going to figure out a way to get 4 out of those 7 games, no matter what. And that's the way they think, is just get it. Let us get in there somewhere, somehow, and we're just going to try and win. And it's going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be really nasty. I'm excited. We get locked in. We get a lot of reps in the second half of the season, lots of cohesion, more and more finding out of what's working and like really going to it more and more. And it's going to get nastier. We're having success already with just kind of blindly trying to find it. And it's really successful already. Just imagine when we understand what we're actually doing and like not just in discovery mode. And they're actually laid plans that we're like, oh, well, we're going to do what we did in January when we played the Spurs in that moment. Remember, that worked really well. And they do it purposely and they know that they get good results from it over and over again. I mean, it's the future is so bright. It's like that Timbuk3 song. We got to wear shades, y'all. We really got to wear shades. Let's see. This playoff's going to be exciting. Raps locked in. Yes, Darren. Alistair, our future opponents will be on protocols. We'll have a good time with some of these games. Yeah, we keep running into teams like Milwaukee tonight with guys missing on protocols. This continues to be an issue. We got all our protocols pretty much out of the way right now. So, we should be in good shape. Nick Nurse shortens bench to 7. This will be fun. Can't wait. I don't know if he'll shorten it all the way to 7. I think that we're always going to have at least 9 players playing because we have that many good players. When you shorten the rotation in the playoffs, it's because you really want to get that premium, really good talent on your team. Your 5 starters that are really good, and then your 2 best bench guys. But honestly, we don't have just 2 really good bench guys. Honestly, I could see the rotation always being right around 9 for the rest of the season. I don't see us shortening our rotation. There's no reason to, because there's no talent drop off, whether you're putting in Kem, Precious, or Chris. And in some degree, there's going to be one of those other guys, whether it's Yuta, Svi, Justin, one of those guys will be utilized in spot duty at least for maybe 5 minutes somewhere in the game, even with a shortened rotation around playoff time. I really see that. Playoff Scotty. Listen, I want to see how this kid gets up when it really matters in some ways. Like, we've seen his intensity in different levels at different times. And I want to see when he's like, I want to win this game in the playoffs, and I'm going to do big things and make big plays at big time times. And I think that he's ready for the challenge, and he's going to be very successful in those spots when they come up. Click. Did Kem get injured last night? I saw something on Twitter, but I'm not sure it's credible. Okay, Kem got cut in the leg. It just in an inadvertent contact. It looked like he may have had a problem with his knee, but it wasn't his knee. It was just that he got a little cut in his leg. He was bleeding, and he had to go to the back and just get patched up. So it had nothing to do with his knee injury or anything like that. So it was nothing to worry about. It was just him getting a bandage on a cut on his knee or his leg, somewhere just below his knee. Let's see. Darren, what gear can Scotty shift into? So giddy with excitement. I know. Listen, it's about confidence. Like, he has an underlying basic confidence just as a person, as an athlete. But as he develops more from a rookie into a pro or into a veteran NBA player, he's going to find more confidence to be able to do things because of reps and him having success over and over again, whether it's shooting a 3 when he's open, whether it's going to the basket, backing a guy down and getting a shot over him. And the thing is, he's already having a huge amount of success without even that much experience. So he can really fine tune and get even more deadlier. Because they're going to scouting report him and they're going to figure out his tendencies and they're going to try and stop him. But it seems like he's the kind of player that can do so many different things, and he's smart enough and he's ahead enough that they're not going to be able to catch up to him, and he's going to make the right decision. Like, say, if they start to come out on him when he shoots the 3 because he's hitting so consistently, well, then he starts to pick up his dribble and go around them to the basket. So that's what I'm talking about. They're going to be catching up to him offensively and trying to stop him. They're going to have a hard time for a long time. It's going to be crazy. Let's see. Click 2 a.m. I don't want to lose Dragic for nothing. If we don't get a center, then trade for bench depth. You know what, Click? We don't lose with Dragic either way. If he just sits there and we don't get anything from him, his money comes off the books and we get money freed up for the summer. It's like we don't lose with him either way. It doesn't matter if we trade him or anything happens, we buy him out or anything happens with him. It doesn't matter. It's all inconsequential to the ultimate future and things that are happening for us. We're going to get a bonus or an addition in our money to spend this summer. That's what's going to happen with him. So have a good shower, Click. Hope you feel better afterwards. Alistair, can't wait to see Brooklyn in the playoffs. We are going to eat. Starscream's worried about us. He doesn't want to face us. He says if we get in the play-in and we get in a low seed and we have to face them in the first round, he's going to be scared. So I told him not to worry because I think we're going to get higher up and we're going to be up there near them or next to them. So he shouldn't worry about us until maybe like the Eastern Conference Finals or maybe the second round. And then we'll see. I'd love to see that series. I really, really would. Oh, my gosh. Graham, Kem got a small cut in his knee. Yep. That's what we're saying. Okay, let's see. Alistair, remember we talked about when full-strength Nurse will run a 10 rotation? He's doing it and now less stress, no longer having to rely on the bench guys. Yeah, it's nice. The stress level of us as fans, the stress level as the players and out on the court, it's loose. They're smiling. They're happy. They're getting tested, but they're taking it professionally. They're not lackadaisical. They're not casual about it, but they're loose and they're having fun. They're smiling and they're having a good time. It was obviously fun to play against Jakob and see him around Pascal and Fred and OG again. The more that they can stay loose like that, but very serious, very professional, very we have goals and what we're trying to accomplish on the court, then we'll be fine. But that's the thing. I don't even think we've really been tested. We were tested in the Clippers game to a degree, but in the last two games, we really haven't been tested by the Knicks or the Spurs. And tonight, I'm serious. It could very well be the same thing tonight, where Milwaukee doesn't even seem like they're testing us. And they're supposedly one of the top Eastern teams and the defending NBA champions. So let's see that. That's what we should look for tonight. Like the varying levels of success we have tonight, whether we're super in a dogfight with them and it's really a hard game and it's close at the end, or we control the game for the most part, we have a good cushion and we beat them by double digits by the end, or we just flat out rout them. Yeah, those are the different, and obviously they could beat us and that kind of side thing, but I don't predict that, or I don't see that happening just because of the talents and who's coming to the court tonight. Really, I think that's what I see. Let's see. Yeah, it really is a lot less stressful to watch the game right now. And it's the same for the players. And I'm sure it's a lot less stressful for Nick Nurse. I'm very sure he's enjoying these games a lot more than some of the games earlier this season. Some fans want a full rebuild. Shaking my head. You know what? Honestly, these aren't real fans. They see Kyle Lowry leave. They see different things happen the last couple of years. Not really paying attention. They're very surface level paying attention. These may be people that are more Blue Jays fans or more Leaf fans or something like that. There are other sports that they're into, and they just casually follow the NBA. They're not in depth like we are here. They don't have any idea what they're looking at. Like anybody who is calling for a rebuild since last year or even earlier this season, they're stupid. Honestly, they piss me off in a lot of ways because we're not the kind of team that needs to rebuild. We're like the Spurs, as somebody said earlier. We're the modern Spurs, and we rebuild within our system with our talent that's coming in over and over in waves. And I don't see us letting up. Like we should be considered a playoff team every year for the next decade. And people that don't want to believe that and just want us to be in the cellars, they're Raptor haters. And they're people that you shouldn't be talking about with the Raptors anyway, because they don't like the Raptors on the down low. If somebody's predicting that they think the Raptors should rebuild or that they're a garbage team or they're not going to make the playoffs right now, in some ways, I don't think they're actually Raptor fans. Because if you root for the team, you want the best for them and you want it when they can get it. And you shouldn't just poo-poo them and say, well, not this year. They'll be better next year. No, fuck that. The only time is now. You do it now. You keep going now. You don't wait. You get it. And it's not messing up our development. It's not throwing somebody in the fire and giving them undue pressure. We're doing it the right way. It's just we're fast tracking. And y'all aren't paying attention when you say you want to rebuild or another lottery pick. That's stupid. We don't need another lottery pick. Have we ever needed a lottery pick? No, we didn't need to get Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes has been a great added benefit, but we've done everything without getting lottery picks so far already. And he's just like a luxury from dealing with Aaron Baines in Tampa. So it is Chicken Little fans. It's exactly what I call them, Darren. And honestly, I don't think they're actually fans. I think they're fans of other teams in the NBA. They think that the Raptors have always been a class lower than the Lakers and the Celtics and different teams like that in their minds as a franchise. And they're wrong. Because we're the class act franchise in the whole entire league. The other leagues are taking notes from what we're doing and trying to mimic us. We're the trendsetters. We're the best franchise in the league, and we're going to be one of the best teams in the league for the next 10 years still, even though they hate that. They hate that. They don't want that. They really don't. They're not fans. And sometimes they are people that are just trolling us because they know we're emotional and passionate about our team. They'll come and say things just to try and set us off or trigger. Anybody who ever comes to you and says, oh, did I trigger you, bro? Fuck them. They're an asshole. Using the word trigger with anybody or say, oh, did I trigger you? That means they're an asshole. Don't talk to them because that's just like a key word that you can hear. Oh, I triggered you. That's what I think when I hear somebody say somebody got triggered or something like that. That means that they look for somebody to trigger. Or they want to mess with people. Let's keep going. Pascal is doing it all. Last night, how much of an unselfish player he is sacrificing points to feed open guys, almost a triple dub. Yeah, there's many guys. This is the thing. The team fills up the stat sheet. Like all these guys, all these premium top players are starters, and then these guys off the bench, they're getting rebounds like crazy. They're getting assists like crazy. They're getting steals like crazy. They're getting blocks like crazy. They fill up the stat sheet. They may not every night get a lot of points on some nights, like Gary or like Kem and Precious or Chris. On some nights, they may not get a lot of points, but they're getting a lot of rebounds. They're getting steals. They're getting blocks. They're passing the ball between each other. The stat sheet's getting filled up. And I love that. I love that. That's all a good sign of a good, healthy team. And teamwork is when everybody's filling up a stat sheet. And that's the thing with role players on a team is usually you have your bread and butter and you just work on rebounds or something like that. But our guys are so versatile. A couple of different guys be going for triple doubles on a regular basis on any given night. Like Kem, it's not likely that he'd probably get a triple double, but it's possible he could get a lot of blocks all of a sudden, some rebounds and some points, triple double. Any of these guys could be a triple-double threat on a special night. Some of them more often than others. But that's the interesting thing right now is the unselfishness is huge. Last night, it was a big thing. We had the most assists in a game for our team in any game this season so far last night. And that's really big. Yeah, I love that, Alistair. I love what you said there. Graham, I see us third in the East at the end of the regular season, right behind Chicago and the Miami Heat. Whoa, you're not even putting Brooklyn in that top three. That's very interesting. So you think that Brooklyn's going to be out of the top three? I just want us to be in the top four somewhere. I mean, I was saying top six, but hell, fuck it. Let's go for home court in the first round. Let's go for home court in the first round. We can get in the top four. Now, these Eastern teams, a lot of them are pretenders. Like Cleveland's a pretender. Philadelphia's a pretender to me. Boston's obviously a pretender. New York's been deemed a pretender. I think Washington's a pretender. Atlanta is okay, but I think they're not as good as they were last year. So I think that we should be the fourth team with those three teams, Brooklyn, Chicago, and Miami. The four of us should be at the top by the end of the year. I really see it. Darren, Boucher and Achua are keys to this year's bench improvement. Yeah. And it's so weird that it's like they're all the same position. Let's just have like our six men are center coming right in. It's good because that means we're just getting bigger as the game goes on. I like that. That's all right. Yeah. Preach it, Graham. Oh, yeah. Okay. Guys, man, I don't think I've ever done 2 hours. This has been a fun 2 hours, but we needed to do this because there was a game last night and then also there's a game tonight. So we're doing a preview and a reaction today. So 2 hours, we're doing 2 hours, but I am going to finish up in about 5 minutes, just so you know. Alistair, now Nurse has a luxury to punish players. That's true. In some ways, he couldn't punish anybody for not playing well so far this season. He just had to play them because that's who was available. I mean, that Cleveland game really was a low. 4 of our regular guys and 4 G League guys, that's crazy. And to go from that very bottom of the barrel for who was available in talent and roster to go to this within this short period of time is part of the reason why I'm just like so overjoyed. Is because it's such a huge swing in having that G League game when everybody was on protocols. And now what we're doing, it's fantastic to see. I love it. And it's true. He can bench guys for not playing well during the game and have somebody else take those minutes. So super competitive. That's going to drive up the level of play overall on the team because everybody knows to play better, they're going to have to play like Justin did last night. They're going to have to do things like that to get more time. Darren, Boucher, Achua can put up 10 each. Double-double machines. The offense has changed and simplified. They've watched film and team adapted. It really was like, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the team. Hi. And meeting each other at the beginning of the season, figuring that stuff out. If you watch the first couple of games of this season, you see just how off we are with each other and how much they've worked together to get the synergy through practice and playing games so far this season is way better. Like the team is playing way better with each other and they know each other better. And there's a lot more confidence between each other on the court. Like there you have a lot of confidence in Scotty for a rookie at this point. Like they have a lot of confidence in him. Let's keep going. We need to get Cleveland back. They had too much fun stepping on us while we're down. Yeah, both the games that we lost to Cleveland this year are garbage. Whether it's beating them the whole entire game and losing to them in the exact last second of the game by 1 point, or getting completely routed in an obscene, awful, humiliating way in some ways in that game. Yeah, we do owe Cleveland some. We really do, MK. And I'm totally with you. I want to see what happens when we show up with them the next couple games that we have with them this season. I don't know how many more times we play them. Probably 2 more times because we played them only twice, right? So we should have them 2 more times. Yeah, so true. Yuta scares bench. He will eat their minutes. Listen, if somebody's not working, Yuta's such a great player for us to have on our bench because he sets the tone of energy and all-out hustle. If you're not playing like Yuta is, you can look at him and say, well, you're not playing as well as Yuta, so Yuta's going to get your time. So he really kind of is that like catch-all underneath the regular rotation guys. Like if somebody on that regular rotation is dogging it, then you can take him out and put Yuta and say, that's how you're supposed to be playing right now. Is you're not playing all out like Yuta does, so Yuta's getting your minutes right now. That kind of stuff. So okay, guys. All right, I think I'm going to close up shop for the day today. Fantastic stream. Really great to hear that Click 2 AM is feeling better. I hope that his grandfather is doing better and better also as soon as possible. Great win last night against the Spurs. It was awesome to see Jakob. Interesting to see his dunk. I thought he was missing free throws to help us out for a while last night on the down low. That was kind of funny when he kept missing all his free throws. But man, he's a great player. He's developed really well. And our team, oh my gosh, Fred VanVleet is the man. He's an all-star. So all y'all, I highly encourage you, go and vote for Fred as much as possible in every which way we can right now to try and get him on the all-star team one way or another. Also, I want to remind you guys, I did a podcast last night, Confederacy of Dunks. It's a Raptors podcast with Freddie Rivas and Matty D. I'm going to post the link to that show from yesterday. Current stuff, the Raptor Freak out of his element on another show with the host. You can get some more Raptor content today. I'll have the link at the bottom of my live stream after I'm done. All right, guys, let's go Raptor Freak Cult Nation. Yeah, baby, we're strong and we're here for each other and we're there and the team is finally back and we're going to be rolling. Let's mess up the defending champs on their home court tonight. I really feel like it is totally possible. Let's see if we can make them look like the Washington Generals tonight like we did the Spurs last night. We're the Harlem Globetrotters in this league now and everybody else is a class below us. We have broken the system and we are the thing that broke the video game, and we're just playing on a cheat code now, baby. All right, let's go, Raptors. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you for being here with me, and I will be here tomorrow with the reaction for the Milwaukee game, guys. All the best. I love you all. Thank you.